What drives the value of a business? A business will derive their value from many of their operational, marketing, and financial aspects. These aspects are often referred to as value drivers, and there can be one, two, or even a whole lot more. Now, in this video, I'll cover off some of the most common value drivers. If a business has most, all, or more of these points, then it is likely to command a premium price at sales time. So let's look at a few of the most significant value drivers that we see most often. The financial performance of a business is one of the most important value drivers of a business's value. And although a buyer will consider many additional aspects of the business, this is arguably the most important one. Financial performance can include many metrics that are sometimes considered value drivers in and of themselves. Simple business valuations look primarily at the EBITDA, EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, proprietor's wage, tax, depreciation, and amortization, or what is commonly referred to as a cash surplus or seller's discretionary earnings. Businesses are commonly valued on the profit they are generating. A purchaser will use this to assess the financial viability and compare profitability between businesses. Now, this earnings-based method assesses the total value of the business based on the profit it's generating. This is where most buyers will start as they begin their due diligence. But as the more in-depth analysis is performed, the buyers and their advisors will look at growth trends for both revenue and net profit, expense ratios, inventory controls, and productivity, and much, much more. A seller would be wise to make this task as easy as possible, which brings me to the second part of the financial statements as a value driver, the books. Now, complete, thorough, and orderly financial records, well, they're a given, but they are critical to the sale of any business and are most likely to result in a higher valuation being placed on that business. If a business's books are transparent, easily understood, they will give a buyer and its advisors a sense of both clarity and comfort insofar as orderly books suggest that there are no hidden surprises within the business. How likely is the business to grow in the future and at what rate? Now look at the business's financial performance over the past few years. Has the business been growing steadily? Now assuming it has, at what rate? Has that rate of growth been equal to the rate of growth in the general economy? If the business is only growing at inflation rates or a little above, it will not derive much value premium from its historical growth. Now if the business is not growing, a buyer or their analyst will discount its value by an almost arbitrary number, leaving very little argument for obtaining a premium price. Focus on the revenue and discretionary earnings that we talked about in point one. How much money comes in the door and what income does the business generate for the owners? The higher the business's rate of growth over that of the general economy, the higher the growth premium that will likely be applied to the business's value. If the business is dependent on one or two of its employees, customers, or suppliers, then the value of each of those to the business is extremely high. It may well be that if any one of them is lost, the business will almost certainly suffer. However, a buyer will take the view that the value of the business will definitely suffer because of the presumed risk that such a dependence adds to the business's long-term viability. For example, if a business relies on one key employee, what is the risk to that business if that employee becomes ill, is recruited away, wins lotto, or retires? Now, is the business too dependent on the owner? Buyers need to be reassured that the business will survive a change of ownership. Now, when customers call, are they calling for the owner? And is the owner the key performer, the only one to provide the service or product that customers demand? Can the owner take a 4-week holiday and be satisfied the business will run smoothly? Now, if they can do that, that would indicate there are solid systems in place that cover the day-to-day operations or technical aspects of the business. Recurring revenue is defined as predictable revenue that can be expected to continue into the future. However, some types of recurring revenue are more valuable than others. Now, here are some examples of the most valuable types of recurring revenue. Think of your cell phone. Vodafone or Spark generally sell their services using contracts of 1 to 3 years. Now, when a customer walks out with a new iPhone, whoever is providing the service received not only gets the one-time revenue from the sale of the phone, but is also guaranteed recurring revenue for the next 12 to 36 months, depending on the length of the contract. One sale and the money rolls in over the next couple of years. Now, especially subscriptions that auto-renew. Things like, well, do you play Netflix monthly? I sure do. What about Microsoft OneDrive, Adobe, Sky TV, Amazon Plus, and the many other similar services? These and other services generate what is referred to as evergreen revenue. Revenue that is most likely to go on and on and on. Now, there are subscription box services that have sprouted up over the past few years. They're another good example. Once you become a member, you get an additional shipment of subscription boxes on a regular basis until you proactively cancel your membership. Every business and every industry have their own unique set of value drivers. Chat to your preferred business broker. That will be me, and I can assist in identifying and analysing business value drivers for your specific business. Hey, thanks again for watching. If you like the video and would like to leave me a thumbs up, a comment, ask a question, please do so. I do try and read and reply to every comment, and I love to hear from people. If you want to know more about business sales, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, see you again.